Hello friends, welcome again back to another tutorial. So this tutorial I'll be showing you the sewing process of making a notch collar jacket or a lapel jacket. So in my previous tutorial I showed you how to draft this pattern we have here right now. Okay, it's a very detailed and easy one. Okay, so in case you've not seen it, you can go ahead and watch it. So in that pattern, like I said, you can always cut to the length of your pattern. If you want to place it on your fabric, you can extend it to your desired length, which is what I actually have here. Okay, yes, so you can see now I have it placed on my fabric. This is the center of the front piece, the one with the lapel effect, and at the side as well. So this is the plain fabric I wanted to use initially for that lapel part, but I later changed my mind to use the same fabric. So that's why I have it. So you can see I'm using the same fabric for the lining as well. Now this one is for the side. You can see I'm using the regular suit lining for the the lining for this side. Okay, just only the center front that I have the main fabric. Then I also cut out my interfacing that I'm also going to use. So this is going to be on both the main fabric and the lining as well. So these ones are for the front piece. So setting this aside, then for the back piece, this is what we have. I went ahead to, of course, extend the length as well, from the pattern I already drafted out. Then you can see my lining is there and also the interfacing. So this just makes everything easy when you cut out everything together. So I have it all ready right now. And also this one is the collar, you can see. So the collar as well, I cut out the same fabric for the lining as well. Okay, just like I have for the center of the front piece. Okay, so I didn't want to use that plain fabric anymore, so I had to use the same fabric as well. So when you open up the collar, you can see this is how it looks. Okay, yeah, so when you're placing it on your fabric, that part is going to be on fold, and you can see I added 0.5 inches all the way, for the same allowance. Okay, yeah, so that's it for the collar. So what I'm going to do now is just to go ahead now and place my interfacing on all the fabrics. I will iron everything out, trim out all the excesses. Then of course, when I'm done, I'll come back to show you the next step. And so at this point, you can see I've gone ahead to do the ironing of my interfacing on every single piece. So this one is the front piece. You can see the way it's arranged now. It just makes everything easy. This is the way we are going to sew it. Just always sew from the down part all the way to the top. It's best so that way. So if there's any excesses, you can always trim it out afterwards. Then the same thing for the other side as well, just so from the down, the same thing. And also for the lining as well, we're also going to be doing the same thing. So remember I said the center of the front have the same fabric for the lining, because that's where the lapel is going to be visible. You can see this, why the regular suit lining is what I used for the sides. You can see this as well. So this is the lining now for the front piece. So I'll also go ahead and sew it also from down to the top. Okay, so I'll finish all this up later on. Then after that, for the back piece as well, we have this. So this one is for the collar. I've also ironed this the interfacing, but we'll be dealing with the collar much later. Now this one is the back piece. Okay, this is the lining as well. You can see it. So you just go ahead and sew. Okay, yeah, just sew from the top to, so everything is just straightforward. There's nothing difficult here at all. Then of course this is the main piece for this the back. Okay, you also go ahead and do the sewing. So I'll just go ahead and finish up all the joinings. Okay, yes, then when I'm done, I'll come back to show you the next step. And so here I have gone ahead to join all the pieces together. We'll have it in one piece. You can see this one is for the back and this is the lining. Then you can see this is the front lining as well, and of course the front piece. So all this has to be properly ironed, and make sure that you notch it properly before ironing it. You can see this is the main piece. So also go ahead and trim off the excesses you have, or along the armhole there. So this will be done much later. Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and join the shoulders. So at this point now we're going to be joining the pieces together. Whatever you do for the main piece, you also do for the lining. So just go ahead and place it together right side to right side. I'll join the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I'll go ahead and also join the side. Just take your measurements and join the sides, and that will be it. So I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing for the lining as well. So I'll go finish all this up, then we'll come back for the next step. And here, guys, you can see I've gone ahead to join the shoulders and the sides. You can already see how this is looking, and this is the lining as well. You can see this now. All right, so gone ahead to trim out some excesses there from the armhole. Now it's time for us to fix our collar. So what I'm going to do now is to bring my collar into two, like so, equal parts. Then I'll go ahead and notch, the curvy part, that part here. You can see where I'm notching, just a tiny notch there. To make it more visible, I just use my chalk to mark it down there to make it more visible. That's the midpoint of this. So repeat the same thing for the other piece as well, which is serving as the lining. Okay, yeah. So now we'll come to the main piece as well. I'm also going to find the center point. I'll bring it together like so, towards the neckline. Just align it very well, making sure that the shoulder joinings are also aligning. Once you've achieved this, okay, hold it firmly. Then you go ahead and also notch the center of the back neckline, just like you see me do. You can see there's just a tiny notch, and I'll go ahead and also mark the center with my chalk as well. So once you have this, of course, you repeat the same thing for the lining piece as well. Now it's time to join the collar. So now you bring that collar, that place that you notched on the collar, you match it with the way you notched on the main bodies there. Okay, then you go ahead and start sewing. You sew from that center point to one end, and from that same center point to the other end. So just carefully, so just the way I'm using my pin to demonstrate this now. This is how you're going to sew. You just keep sewing. The collar is it has this curvy part, at some part there. So you just have to carefully sew this. But like I said, you're not going to sew to the very end. When you sew and you're already getting towards the end, you are now going to measure from that your neckline of the main jacket there. You're going to measure about 4 inches, 3.5 or 4 inches. So you can see, just measure that point there and take note of that. I measured 4 inches, although when I was sewing it, I later used 3.5. Okay, yes. So just measured that. What I have there at this point was 4 inches. Okay, so that means that's where my sewing is going to stop. Okay, you can see the way I'm pinning it down. That's where you're going to stop, so you don't have to sew to the very end. Okay, yes. So once you get to that point, you can already see what this is looking like here. You can already see this, right? All right, so now I'll continue on the other side as well. I'll just go ahead and measure that same 4 inches there. I'll just use my chalk to mark that point down, so that when I start sewing from the other end, I will know I'll just stop at that point. You can see this now. So I'm going ahead to start pinning it down. Just the way I'm pinning is the way the sewing is going to go. Okay, just carefully pin it down. So once you get to that 4 inches point, you also stop your sewing at that point. You can see this. Yeah, so just carefully doing this. Okay, and once this is done, you can already see how this is looking. Like I said, I used 3.5. Okay, yes. So but at this point there, it was 4 inches. So you can see I'm dumping in it. You can already see what this is looking like. You can already see the effects of our collar there. So we are going to repeat the same thing for the lining as well. Okay, so I'll just quickly go and finish this up, and I'll show you what the next step. And at this point, I've gone ahead to fix my collar for the main piece and also for the lining. So very important, after fixing it, you notch it all the way. And of course, you can see how this is looking like so. And the same thing for the lining. All right, so now the next thing we are going to do now is to turn it over with the lining. So we're just going to place it right side to right side. Okay, now, but this point you have to be very, very careful. You have to apply a bit of patience there, because you want to make sure that you have everything properly aligned. But before I start joining, this is my lining. I have to reduce the length of my lining. So I'm going to be taking away about 1 inches from my lining, although I later took off just 0.5 inches. Okay, yes, so that when we sew, the lining will go inwards. I hope you understand. All right, so now I'm going to just take off some inches from the lower part of my lining, so I took away 0.5 inches. I just trimmed out everything with my scissors. Okay, you can see that's what I did here. Went ahead to trim out every single piece here. Okay, so once I was done, then I'll go ahead and now place it back the way it's meant to be, right side to right side. So at this point, you can now carefully align everything, making sure that every single part align. You can see I'm starting from the collar there. I use my pin to hold it firmly there from one end of the collar to the other. So you start from that point, making sure also that the joining you have on that collar, make it align. Okay, you could feel it, you make it align. Then when it comes to this part now, you're going to make the joinings, all the side joinings, the princess start joinings. You're going to make sure that everything align together. What I mean, like what you see me doing now, what I have for the lining, the joining must align with the one for the main fabric. You can see. So at that point where they align, just use your pin to hold it down. Okay, you come to that joining part. This is the side joining. You go ahead and align it. So this is what you keep doing to get to the very end. Okay, so this is at this point, if there's any slight mistake, you can actually correct it, because if you have one part bigger than the other, you can actually make that adjustment. Okay, yeah, so the reason why you have to do this, so that when you are done, with the sewing, you don't have it looking some kind of way. Okay, so it's very important to follow this process. So just go ahead and align all the joinings together, and of course when you do it like this one will tell you that okay, your sewings were really matched up together. Okay, yes. So once I'm done with that part, I'll move over to the other side as well, the top part there. Just use my pin to hold everything firmly. So once you've carefully done this and you have everything in place, then you can go ahead and start sewing. So my sewing, I'm going to start from this point here. Just follow through the shape there. Okay, follow to the top of the collar. You can see, just follow the shape and all the way you go to the other side. When you get to the curvy part, you also curve your hand that side, and of course you come this way. So when you get to this point, then you start sewing the sides and the lower part. But the best thing to do is, after sewing that collar part, sew the lower part first. Sew the lower part first before what? Sewing what? The sides. Okay, so this will help you push in the lining inside. Remember, we reduce the length of the lining. I hope you understand. So I'll go finish this up now, then we'll come back to do the next step. Of course, you can see, guys, I've gone ahead to sew it all. You can already see my stitches are there in place. You can see, and very importantly, notch it. Like I notched every single part all the way. Every part where I sewed, I make sure that I notched it. Okay, yeah. So once you're done with that, then you turn everything to the front. So we have the sleeve opening there, so I'm going to turn from that sleeve opening. So just carefully turn it. Anywhere you have those sharp edges, to use the scissors, to poke it out. Okay, so that it would really fit out very well. You can see this. So I'm going ahead to carefully do this. So once I turn out everything, you can already see how this is looking. You can see it, everything is properly in place now. You can see this. Yes, so we have it looking all good now. So the next thing, of course, I'll go and do now is to give this a very good press. And when I was done, guys, our notch collar jacket is ready. This is looking all beautiful. Like the only thing left now is to fix the sleeve. So the sleeve I'm fixing for this one is not the regular kind of suit sleeve. This is a two-piece sleeve. Okay, yes, and it's a different tutorial entirely. Honestly, I can't do it here. It's going to make this one so bulky, so I'm going to do a different tutorial on how to make the two-piece sleeve, and also of course how to attach it to this jacket. Okay, thank you guys for joining me. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Share with friends, share with your sewing communities. I'll really appreciate this a lot. A big thank you to my subscribers. If you're new here, I also want to say thank you so much. Thank you guys for always riding with me. Okay, like you guys are amazing. Like I really appreciate you. Thank you, a million thank you to you guys. Okay, yes, so till I see you on the next one, guys, have a beautiful day. Bye for now.